for them.
Extremely.
You know, like when someone tries to do it that's not a comic, they automatically kind of reject them. I'm always like, give him a chance. Never know. Never fucking know. Never know. Never know a guy who's been acting but really always wanted to do stand-up might have some good ideas and might really throw themselves into it. It's possible. Why would you assume it's impossible? It's possible.
It is possible.
But the reality in L.A. is a lot of them were doing it because the whole casting thing had dried up for them, right? So they weren't getting brought into shows anymore, so they decided to do stand-up. And they would just, you know, put together an act, like write an act. Yeah, but it wasn't what they really loved. So it wasn't what they really threw.
It's a paycheck.
Yeah.
It's a little paycheck to get them by.
It was a career decision. It was like pivoting, you know?
Yeah. I know a couple guys like that.
Yeah.
Sitcom or a sketch show or even like an SNL character. He didn't do stand-up, and now they'll tour and try to do whatever.
So here's an interesting thing. I should tell you because you know this person.
Okay.
I actually made up with Marc Maron the other day. We actually had I had to help him with something. I had to inform him about something. And he sent me a very sincere message of thank you. And then I sent him a message back that was sincere. And I said, look, I'm not your enemy. And I'm sure if we saw, despite our differences, I'm sure if we saw each other, within a few minutes we'd be laughing and smiling. Yes. Which is generally how I interacted with him, for the most part. I had only a few bad interactions with him. And he was pretty honest about how, you know, maybe it's his own mind and, you know... It was a very sincere interaction, which made me happy. It's not good to have enemies, man.
No, it's really not.
It's not good.
I've had maybe 2 or 3 that have vocally put out on, because I'm not into the Twitter insulting or going on other programs insulting. If you have an issue, tell me.
Right.
And then we'll deal with it the way
call me up.
The real humans do it.
Yeah.
And when that whole thing, I have a funny feeling. I know it. Some of his issues were, but I felt, and I put it out there. I felt bad because for years I didn't have great interaction. When I started, listen, I'm not poo-pooing or whatever, but yeah, a lot of guys didn't like me. They were like, who's this animated, loudmouth kid coming in here, confident and blah, blah, blah. And he would always kind of like, I'll never forget, he'd be like, you going to woo him? You going to woo him tonight with your...
He was trying to sabotage you.
Without doubt.
It was a competition thing.
Without
with
doubt.
him.
And I understood that because I'm still back then.
You made a whole video about it.
Correct.
Yeah, I saw that video.
And so as we went on, I actually was so happy for him once he got WTF, because you saw like, wow, he
became a different person.
And he found his niche.
And he became friendly.
Correct.
He was easy to be around.
Yeah.
His podcast was killing it, and then he had his show on the IFC, Maron. He was doing great. He was way easier to hang around with.
He was incredible.
Because all the angst had been removed, and he'd become a made man, right?
Made man.
Yeah,
and
he'd become legit.
Man, who cares who else is becoming made man? Who cares?
Exactly. But then when things go south, then it's hard to maintain that same mindset. It's very easy for me to say, oh, just relax and who cares? Everybody should be happy that all these people are doing well. But if you're not doing well, that jealousy is a natural thing. I've experienced it before. I've experienced it. I know the feeling. I've experienced it for brief moments before. You know, even like... 8, 9 years ago, maybe even. It's like there's moments where someone's really killing it. You're like, oh, what the fuck? But then I realized in my head, like, God, that's a bitch-ass way of thinking. Don't hold on to that.
We're on our own journey. This is our world.
But also, that same feeling can instead be inspiration. Like when you and I worked together and I bombed, one of the things that inspired me was not just I got to get better because I bombed, but you murdered. You had that bit about coming home drunk.
Coming home wasted.
And your mother was...
Turned into a demon.
Yeah, it was a great bit.
Demon with
it was so like animated and big. And it didn't make me hate you. I loved you.
Right.
We were great friends. I was like, that is so good. And it just made me want to get better. So that same feeling that can turn you like, oh, you're going to do woo-wums? You're going to do your bullshit? Instead, I was like, fuck, Jim, you're killing it, man. That's awesome.
Yes.
I come from a different world, and my world requires other people around you to be as good or better than you. The martial arts world. Like when I was a 4-time state champion and I was doing, I wasn't necessarily the best guy in the gym. There was guys in the gym that were better than me.
Yeah.
Always. There was other guys that were also state champions. Some of them were national champions. They were better than me.
Right.
But because I was around those people training hard all the time, that's why I got so good.
Yeah.
It was because I was around people as good, if not better than me all the time, that it elevated my level. So I felt the same way about stand-up. I'm like, you need those people that make you feel uncomfortable. They make you feel like, fuck, I got to go to work.
Yes, and whether it's him or whoever, it doesn't even have to be the comedy world. It's just the world in general. It's not that sad. I wish sometimes people in those positions, no matter how successful you are and whatever you define as success, if someone else is starting to kill it somewhere, let them. Keep your eyes off that. Just stay in your own lane. I hate that term though. I've heard it.
Yeah,
it's not stay in your lane. It's stay in your world of confidence. And I saw a couple people try to take a swat, and I think it was deeper than that. I think it was A, they were envious, and B, because you had certain people on, and perhaps they were angry because they're still lumped into how they define themselves to certain gangs that their allegiance goes to.
Yeah, ideological capture.
100%.
Yeah.
How dare he have...
Don't platform that person.
Don't platform this one, and don't platform that one, and don't platform... And matter of fact, I would even hear chatter like this. I would never... And I'd go, yes, you would, because...
Well, if you wouldn't, then you would never be me in the first place, so what are you worried about? We're different human beings.
Correct.
But the point is, I understand those feelings.
Right.
I do. I understand those feelings of anger, and those feelings of jealousy, of resentment. It is absolutely normal, but it is a bitch-ass way to think. And I've thought those ways. I've had bitch-ass thinking in my life. 100%. So I get it. I understand it. It's normal. But what these people need to hear, that I needed to learn myself, is that not only does not help you, it hurts you, but the same exact experience can instead be inspiring to you, and that will help you. And you're going to be uncomfortable with comparing yourself to someone who's better than you. But that uncomfortable feeling is what leads to growth. It's really important. It's good. It's good for you. But what's not good for you is to try to dismiss that person and shit on that person.
Joe Rogan had on Jim Bruer and revealed that he talked to Marc Maron and they squashed the beef. And then Joe Rogan went on to trash Marc Maron with Jim Bruer. This is so odd. Did Joe hear something like, I gotta hear Marc Maron's version of this, because even hearing Joe Rogan's version of this phone call, I don't think they kind of, squashed anything and made up. Even according to Joe's thing, Joe's like, like even his version of it, I got to hear Marc. I can tell Marc Maron is probably going to see this clip and go, I didn't make up my own. Especially since after he said that, Joe Rogan just went on this shit on Marc Maron with Jim Bruer. Was he calling him a jealous bitch? Well, I don't know if he was calling Marc specifically a jealous bitch, although they were talking about Marc, or at least Jim Bruer and me thought they were talking about Marc. But Joe's overall thing about Marc and about that phone call was that Marc is jealous. And Joe just kind of made it sound like he called Marc. Marc got on his knees, apologized to Joe, admitted that he's a jealous bitch, and now Joe Rogan is king. That's what it sounds like to me, what Joe Rogan just said. What's it sound like to you? I gotta hear Marc Maron's version of this. Because according to Joe Rogan, they made up, and Marc Maron's a jealous bitch. So, I mean, according to Joe Rogan, they talked. Marc needed his help. What did Marc need his help with? Some benefit thing. See, here's the thing with these guys. Why it's always hilarious with these comedian beefs, because they're always gonna run into each other or talk to each other and stuff, and none of them are ever gonna do anything physical. So that's what sort of like Bill Burr's thing was. Once again, talking about Marc Maron, when Bill Burr was complaining about Marc complaining about him performing in Saudi Arabia, and Bill was like, "Yeah, I can't wait to see that guy, because something tells me when I see him in real life, he's going to be very nice to my face and not say anything and apologize to me." And lo and behold, I'm assuming that's exactly what happened, and that's probably what happened here. And but now I still just gotta hear Marc Maron's version, because according to Rogan, Maron's a jealous bitch who apologized to Joe. Joe's the king. And now your podcast is over. Yeah? Kiss the rings, you hippie bitch. Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you go write a blog about it, Maron? You go bother fucking Janine Garofalo. Whatever happened to Janine Garofalo? I don't know. Is there like a falling out there or something? I don't know. What am I babbling about? Oh, yeah. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.